Hello, Bible reader. Today's readings are from Job chapters 7 to 10 and Mark chapter 5. I'm going to start with Mark and just admit, Mark might be my favorite gospel for a variety of reasons, but it's not because he's the most elegant storyteller. Luke, when we get to Luke, I'll say more about this, but Luke writes like he's hoping that what he's writing is going to get into the Bible someday. Like he's thinking about the foreverness of what he's writing. Mark, his writing has more urgency. It is less elegant and more powerful. This story of casting a demon into pigs who then go run off a cliff, that's a perfect example of how Mark writes with vibrancy. Remember, in like the first chapter, it was they were hunting for Jesus, and now these pigs are sent off a cliff. It's representative, though. That's another thing about Mark. As we try to get into the specifics of where does something happen exactly, and Jesus will be said to have traveled from here to there, and then as you try to follow it, like it doesn't always add up, because much like I've talked about how there's myth in Genesis trying to simply explain a truth, Job is poetic drama, not trying to recount the actual experiences of a person in the ancient Middle East. Mark also is writing in a way that is meant to convey truth, but this is not a historical narrative. We're not reading a history book. Sacra Pagina, this is a commentary that I read, and it talks about the problems of place, location, and such things for Mark. I'm just going to read a line from it. The real problem is correlating the suggested sites in this story in particular with the narrative. So Gerasa, or the Gerasenes, modern Jerash. This was a leading city of the Decapolis, which is consistent with chapter 5, verse 20, but it's located roughly 37 miles southeast of the sea. An extraordinary run even for demon-possessed swine. Gadara, proposed by Matthew, is 5 miles from the sea, still a long way, but there's no steep cliffs nearby. So the last line he says is, his realism, Mark's realism, is a narrative rather than a historical realism. He's telling a story that is real, that is true, even if it's not necessarily full of fact. Which is hard for our scientific-minded brains. We've been trained in a much different way of reading and understanding people's accounts. So it is something for us to work through. Job, this is like COVID-19 Job. I mean, he's having a rough time, and he's lamenting. Job's, what is this? Verse 1 of this section really made me think of Luther's Hidden and Revealed God. Hidden in that there's still so much that is mysterious and unknown about God, and yet revealed in that Jesus is the incarnation. We see what God's love looks like and acts like. Verse 1 says, I loathe my life. I'll give free utterance to my complaint. I'll speak in the bitterness of my soul. There's so much unhappiness in this section of Job, and the hidden and revealed senses of God. I feel like Job is in need of hearing from Luther that yes, there is so much that is mysterious, and yet so much goodness is revealed to us. I am one with my God. My God is with us, all of us, at all times and in all places.